For the assignment for this project, we've got a more complicated version of the example we looked at in the practice. And again, your goal is the same, to add some error checking, validation, exception correction, and maybe even some code corrections to this one. Let me just run this so you can see what the more complicated version looks like. So here's our same web form we had before for products. We can enter product information in, including an URL. We can create that product and display it. But now we're adding that product to an array list, so we can actually add multiple products with some different values. I don't know if I have other products in the cache here. Okay, so we have another product. I can display this. So now I can actually go to the previous product and the next product, and it shows two products over here. So I'm just adding these products to the array list, and I can use next and previous to view the current product. And in fact, I can add yet another product if I want. I can add as many as I want, of course. Okay, so now I have my three products here. So that's the basic thing. Let's look at the code, and then we'll talk about some of the error correction issues we want to work with it. The code gets a little more complicated here. When the page loads, we've got to create an array list. We have an array list here. The first time the page is loaded, we instantiate the array list. We also have a counter and a position. That's what position in the array list that we're currently displaying on the screen. And the counter is just the number of elements in the array list. And we're storing each of those in the session. So in our session state variables, we're storing each of those there. If this isn't the first time the page is loaded, all we do is load in those variables from the session state thing. So we're just grabbing a session state session state objects, casting them to the right types, and loading them in. Then when we click our button, so let's go back. So when we create a product, like before, we create a sales product here. And we're doing the same sort of convert here. And so we'll be running into the same sort of errors where we're converting the price to something else. So you'll want to do some error checking here. We'll talk about that in just a sec. But now we add that sales products to our product array. We then, as we before, fill in the display. So on the left here we have label name, the image picture, and then the label price. We fill all those in with the product information. And then we also update our position to point to the new product, and update our counter, and then we save all these updates to the session again. There are two new buttons, previous and next. And with those, for previous, we just decrement the position counter. For next, we increment the position counter. And then we update that position counter to the session variable. And then we just display the product name. We just grab the product from the product array based on that position. And then once we have that, we just use that to update the labels to display that product. This isn't the most efficient code. We're using the same set of code here repeatedly to update those things. But again, this is just a practice problem. And in fact, once we get into database issues, we won't be storing, of course, a database like this of products in an array list. We'll be using a database and all that database connectivity. But for now, you can see how a simple array list works with the session. So in the next quick video, we'll go over what are the error checking things you need to do for this assignment.